Okay, we're on here with Sean McKinney, recruiting coordinator, Colorado Mesa. Sean, how you doing today?
Great, Mike. How you doing, man?
Fantastic. First thing I want to do is have you take the viewers kind of through your background in baseball and kind of what you've done to this point in time.
Okay, well, I was born and raised in Laramie, Wyoming, where the University of Wyoming is. Grew up in an athletic department. My father's been a part of the University of Wyoming athletic department for over 50 years. So I grew up there. Played high school baseball and Legion ball. Obviously it's a little bit harder in Wyoming, but I was able to go play at Otero Junior College out of high school. Played there, and then I had the opportunity to come play at Colorado Mesa. Back then it was Mesa State. Now it's Colorado Mesa University. So I was able to play here. And then after my playing days were over, I decided to start working on my master's degree because I knew I wanted to coach. And so I went back to the University of Wyoming and started that. And then our head coach, Chris Hanks, gave me my first opportunity to coach. And I obviously took it, told him I'd be there tomorrow. And so, yeah, he gave me that opportunity. And I've been here now for 12 seasons. And it's been an absolutely great experience. Very lucky to be here, and very proud of what we've done here at Mesa.
Well, the first thing I want to do is kind of get into just give you a compliment right away. You guys got voted, or not voted. I mean, you guys were Team of the Decade for NCAA baseball, which I don't know if a lot of people know, but your guys' record for 10 years and last from 2010 through 2019, your record was 440 and 143, a massive success. So my question is, what allows you guys to have sustained success? I've always admired people that can be good for a long period of time. What allows you guys to be good for so long?
I think it's not just the people that we have. We have unbelievable people. The student athletes that we've brought in over that time span, and even beyond that really got the tradition going. I mean, we're going back 20, 30, 40 years. Just the people that we've had within the organization, the support, the coaching staff. We've been together a very long time. I think it's very rare in today's world, in any sport, to have a coaching staff together as long as we've been together. I'm actually, I've been here the least amount of time, and I've been here 12 years. So, what we've done, what we've been able to do is just based on the personalities, people working together. We have a system, we have a culture that we've created that we're very proud of, and we take very seriously. But yeah, going back to, it's the student athletes and the kids that we get in, and then the ability to work with them and, them buy into what we're trying to do. It's been a great experience, and we're very lucky with the people we've had.
Being a top tier, top five D2 program every year, do you have to educate, players on your program? So that first call in, the second call in, it's not a household name unless you're really in the college baseball circles. Do you have to, or do you find yourself educating parents and players a lot on that?
Absolutely. I think that, I never want to, when I get on recruiting calls, I never just want to hit them with a bunch of facts at the beginning. I mean, I really want to get to know, first of all, the student athlete, and then also their family. It's going to be a group decision for the whole family. And so, we try to ease our way into it. We want them to know about the success we've had, but it goes deeper than that, than just the numbers. But what we're trying to create here, it's a world-class baseball experience is what we're trying to create. And so, trying to give that information to them, that we don't want them to be great just on the field, but off the field, in the classroom, in the community. And so it all kind of ties together. And, at certain points of those phone calls and, those FaceTime calls, you kind of let them know. And I think it also makes a big difference when families can do their research. And you try to give them some links to some videos and some information that, they can see and do some of their own research. And, because, I mean, every coach, they're very passionate about their program, and they want to tell you how great their place is. And so, we're no different. But I also think it's important that the families can do that research, and they can kind of discover that on their own. And, wow, you guys have had some success. And it's a little bit easier conversation that way.
Going to, again, being a top tier D2 program, do you have guys wait you out because they're waiting on the Division I offer? Do they think, oh my gosh, it's Colorado Mesa, it's a really good program? However, I do want to go to Division I baseball. And so do you find guys wait you out? And if they do, how do you view that player?
Yeah, I mean that happens. Some guys they want to come in and they want to commit with us, and other guys want to wait it out, and we understand that. I mean, it's every kid's dream to go Division 1 or play Major League Baseball. Every kid that plays baseball has those dreams and those passions and those inspirations. So, I mean, we understand that to a certain degree. Again, going back to educating them on the experience that we can provide for them. We live in a beautiful area here in Colorado. We have great facilities. It's a beautiful campus. And then we have great tradition, a winning culture here. So, you try to tie all that in for them. And, some will wait it out, some won't. Try not to hold that against them too much just because, I mean, I want them to try to do their homework, like I said, and go see other places. And I always encourage them to go on visits. I want the families to go see what's out there so they can make the best decision for their family. I mean, it's a big decision, and it's probably going to be the best 4 years of their life. So I want them to make a great decision no matter where they end up. And, if they have the opportunity to play college baseball, it's awesome. And I'm very happy for them. And, if it happens to be with us and they can help our culture, then I'm all for it.
You mentioned facilities. I was in, Grand Junction 2011. We were in the World Series when I was at Central, and I'll never forget. Again, I've never been there before. And that week for me was really a crazy, awesome week. And I know it's a World Series, but I did feel that the town kind of rallied around the JC World Series. On top of that, I was kind of blown away with the stadium you guys have there. So talk about your field, and then talk about the upgrades they've had there since I've been there.
Yeah, again, very lucky. We play at Field, which is located right across the street from campus. So it's not on campus, but it's right there. It's they can fit about 9,000 to 10,000 people, depending on the outfield stands. They did about a $9 million renovation 5-6 years ago for a new press box, new chairback seats, some suites, and they also redid the playing surface. We have a natural playing surface that is the upkeep is by the city of Grand Junction. They have a great field crew. And so we're just extremely lucky. It's a beautiful stadium. If you've never seen it, I'd encourage you to go look at it online or contact us, and we can send you some video and some pictures of it. But very beautiful, very well kept. It's one of our biggest selling points, I would say, is having that facility at our disposal. And we play all our games there. We're able to set the national attendance record for Division II baseball. The fans are great. The community really rallies around baseball here because we have the Junior College World Series. We also have a minor league team here for the Colorado Rockies, and then us. And so, you get baseball year round here. Lucky enough, we have the weather for that. The colder months in December and January, there's not a ton of baseball, but every other month we have the baseball here. And so the community's great. You got to experience it. They really rally around everyone. And, we're no different. We have great support from everyone in the athletic administration to the university and the community. So, yeah, that facility, it's big for us, and we're extremely lucky to have it.
Shifting a little bit to recruiting, since you are the recruiting coordinator. Again, when I was at Central, we had a lot of luck with Colorado kids coming down to Arizona and then actually blowing up because, to me, they had a higher ceiling sometimes by not playing as much baseball as Arizona kids did. My question to you is, how do you project the Colorado high school kid? Because, again, you're dealing with weather, you're dealing with inside a lot of stuff too. How do you project a guy that may not have that great long high school baseball season, and he's indoors for a big part of the year? How do you evaluate him, how he's going to be in college?
Well, I think, we're no different than a lot of other staffs out there. I mean, you really have to do your homework. You really have to have a system of evaluation that you use and that you stick to. None of us have a crystal ball. I mean, they even make mistakes in the NFL, and think of all the resources that they have. So none of us have a crystal ball, but, we really try to systemize our approach in recruiting with exactly what we're looking for in players. And so, to try to decide if they're going to be this or that, we have a pretty good idea with some of their athletic skills and their personality and character. But it's also a little bit of a crapshoot with some guys, especially some of the higher level guys that, are going to go Division I in a Power 5 school. We're usually not going to get all those type of kids. And so we understand that. And so we have our our program and our system that we use to evaluate those guys. And with Colorado kids, it's no different than Colorado, Arizona, California, wherever we recruit. You just want to try to get the kids that you really like. You found something that you've liked in them, the character, do they love baseball? Those sort of things that we really try to focus on, and will they fit into our culture and what we're all about? We try to focus more on that and not just the talent, because the talent can go either way. And also, if we don't get that high caliber kid like some of the Power Fives do, obviously, we have to be a little bit more diligent on the other aspects.
How do you guys divide up the recruiting on your staff? So you're the recruiting coordinator as well. What other roles do guys play in your staff, head coach, or assistant coaches? How do you guys divide up the recruiting?
Well, one of our other assistant coaches, Steve Wojtek, does an absolutely fantastic job. He covers Utah, Colorado. He goes into Kansas and does all those junior colleges in that area. And he is just an extremely hard worker, does a great job with finding student athletes that are going to fit what we're about. So, he does a great job in those areas, the Utah, Colorado, Kansas. I try to cover California, Arizona, Nevada, and the Northwest. Those are my areas, so I really try to dive in there. And then our head coach, Chris Hanks, he kind of oversees everything. He steps in when he needs to, get the big guns in there, and he kind of helps at the end. But he does a lot of the junior college as well around. He's made so many contacts over his years of coaching. So we all kind of tackle it together. Those are our small areas, but we definitely get together all the time, go over our board and what we're looking for. Sometimes I'll get contacted by a Utah student athlete or Colorado kid, and I know I can give it right to Coach Wojtek, and he'll handle it. So we kind of split all that up in that way, those areas, but we all tackle it together. It's definitely a group effort.
How would you describe the transition from warm weather players going to Colorado? So obviously you guys recruit out of California and Arizona and stuff too. Do you feel transition from those guys who play in perfect weather or hot weather go into playing Colorado?
Yeah, it's an interesting animal. I think it solely depends on the kid. Some like it more than others. Some get used to it more than others. And I think that, it just depends on what you want to deal with, honestly. I know that, if you're going to go to a great program like Oregon State, I mean, it can get cold up there. In California, there's a lot of fires and stuff going on. I mean, there's a lot of stuff there, and it can get really hot in Arizona. So it all just depends on what you want to deal with as a student athlete. We have found that the California guys, the Arizona guys, they've really enjoyed it here. We do have beautiful weather. We're not like the rest of Colorado, like you would think, over kind of in the higher elevations. We have a high desert climate here, a little bit more like the Albuquerque type. And then as you can see behind me, we don't have a lot of wind here either. Very lucky there, because that makes it colder. So, we do have a nice climate. We're able to get outside very early. We do have an indoor facility, but the best part about it is we don't really have to use it a lot. And so we're lucky there. But yeah, every kid deals with it differently. Most of them find it, we try to get kids with a competitive edge to them, and most of them find it just something else to compete at. And before you know it, they're used to it. I've had several California guys, as they go through their career here, as we get into the postseason, it gets really hot, especially if we go to the World Series in North Carolina. They want to play back in the cold. They're like, it's too hot here. I want to go back to Colorado and play. So we've had several California guys say that. So it depends on the kid, but we're lucky we have a great climate here.
Specific to makeup, I mean, I'm not going to go into your X's and O's on baseball skills. That's specific to makeup when you're evaluating a kid, whether this be on a visit or you go watch them in a game or when you make calls on the player. What are some turn-ons and turn-offs you have in a guy? What things do you kind of steer away from, and what things do you like? That guy's probably going to fit in our place.
Yeah, I think with coaches, we all have a lot of the same philosophies in certain areas, but a hot word is character. Obviously, we want to look for character. A couple things that we love, do they love baseball? I mean, are they thoroughly enjoying it when they play the game? Do they have presence when they're out there? I mean, you can see them right away that that they exude a confidence and a presence that we like. The second thing is, do they love to practice? we have found over the years that the best players love to practice. And, that can be rare sometimes because a lot of guys want to just play games now. But our best players, the All-American type guys, the draft guys, they love to practice. And so, the love of baseball, loving to practice, do they exude confidence? Do they have presence? And then, sometimes we'll use terms like, do they have gravel in their guts? Are they competitive? We heard that from some NFL coaches. And or another one we like to use is fire in the belly, as I'm sure most people have heard. So gravel in the guts, fire in the belly. We look for those kind of things because, we're all trying to find the best talent. We're all trying to find the best skill guys. And, with baseball, some of that stuff's rated. I mean, you got the tools that people look at. But, we're not going to get a 5-tool guy here usually. And we get that. So what are some of those other things, those 6th, 7th tool, whatever you want to call it? What are some of those other things that we love? So the gravel in the guts, the competitiveness, and the love of baseball is really what we try to look for.
2 more questions here. When you first start talking to a player, how long is that from start talking to a player to when you make a decision on a kid? And I realize, you may recruit sophomores, juniors, or seniors. I'm just curious, how long is that rapport building stage, going to watch stage versus pulling a trigger on a kid? And again, I know there's variances on when you notice guys, but how long is that period usually from start to finish?
It could be anywhere from 2 months to over, a year. It depends on the situation and the student athlete. Again, we are not going to get some of those top guys probably. And so we come in a little bit late sometimes and we have to move fast. And it also depends on the time of year, but it could be anywhere from 1 to 2 months into a whole year. I think that usually we have a pretty good idea after the first 1 or 2 phone calls of, hey, I really like this guy, really like his family, really like who he is. He's fun to talk to on the phone. He's got great presence on the phone, enthusiastic, speaks well. You can kind of tell some of those things early. And then we have some players where you got to pull it out of them a little bit. And then once they get comfortable, all of a sudden it's like, wow, they won't stop talking now. So, it can vary by kid. Like I said, sometimes we've had to work very fast and we have a very limited window. And other times we really get to know families. They get to come out on visits, and we get to spend a lot of time with them. So yeah, it just depends on the time of year and the kid. And, the earlier you can get them to commit, the better. But that always doesn't work out. And we understand that. And so, it's got to be the right fit. I think that some families lose sight of the fact that, the right fit's a hot topic word, and, it's got to be the right fit. Well, it also has to be the right fit for us. And so it's that marriage. And, when you get that and you can tell, then you want to move a little quickly and, hey, let's just get this done. You want to do this. And that's how we finish it.
You actually sparked the second question on a follow up on that stuff too. So a lot of the questions we get from our players is, when's best to contact a school? So you talked about time of year. So I'm actually have 2 parts to this question. When, as far as what year is good for a prospect to contact you guys, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior? And the second part of that, if they wanted to get your attention, what months or month would be best to contact you?
Well, a lot of, recruiting is a never-ending deal. I mean, it goes all year. You take calls on Christmas, you take calls on New Year's Eve, you take calls in June. So, whenever you can do it for us, it is fine. Most of our seasons end in June, whether it's Division I, Division II. And so, once that season's over and we're not focusing on our team, that's a good time in the summer. There's also slow periods in November and December when there's not as much action going on. Those are good times. But other than that, I'd tell families, if you're really interested in somewhere, then you got to go let them know. You got to email coaches. And, I know for us how many emails we get on a daily basis, weekly basis. And I can only imagine what it's like at some of those even bigger schools, how many emails they get. And so, if you want to get noticed, you got to keep emailing. You got to keep reaching out. I think it's very important, obviously, in today's technology, you have video attached with it. And then one of the biggest things for us is having your coach reach out to us. And, we can ask the coaches questions because they're going to know the player really well. I really enjoy talking to the high school coaches. They're with them a lot, within the high school. And then you also get the club teams that you get to talk to. And, coaches aren't going to want to burn kids, and that's understandable. But, you can get a sense of what the players like because those coaches have spent a lot of time with them. And then you can kind of match that up when you talk with the family and the student athlete. Uh, so, reaching out, continuing to reach out, it's almost impossible to answer every email. We try, but when coaches start reaching out and vouching for the kids, then we can take a little bit more of a look at them, and then hopefully get a chance to see them and go out and see them play a couple times.
My last question is kind of similar to what I've done in past talks, but it's usually why Colorado Mesa be my question. But I think we've answered some of those things with the field, the winning you've done. My last question, tell people something that they may not know about Colorado Mesa that they're not aware of, probably, whether it be from the academic side, coaching side, the winning. What's something they may not know, which to me is a separator you versus other schools?
Well, I want to keep it short. I'm obviously a little biased because I've been here a while and I love this place. We got a special place, and it's not for everyone maybe. But we got a special place. We have over 100 different programs of study here at Colorado Mesa. So there's a ton of different things that you can do. I mean, getting your degree is so important. And so there's a lot of different avenues you can go down coming to this place. And then I think also, the climate. I mean, you hear Colorado, it's in our name. It's the first word you hear. And you can think, it's cold, snowy, but we have a great climate and we're very lucky here. And we do have a lot of teams that come here to play us. We like to go play a lot of teams. And so, the climate, you're going to get a great education here, and we're going to coach you up. I mean, we're not a type of program that, just wants to roll the ball out and play and see what happens. We love our jobs. We love coaching. And so we're really going to coach kids. And, the player development is such a huge piece of all of this. And it's not only on the field, but off the field and in the classroom, the community. And so, like I said earlier, we try to create a world-class baseball experience, what we would term it as a great experience for you. I mean, you're going to come here, you're going to get a great education. You're going to be a part of a great culture within a beautiful community. And then, you can move on to the next step, whether it's with your degree and into the workforce or Major League Baseball. I mean, we have several guys that get drafted, and so that's a dream for people. And so if that's your dream, you can go out and chase that here at Colorado Mesa. We're going to provide every resource that we can for you to be successful here.
Awesome. Well, like I said, I've always been a big fan of your guys' program and Tufts too. You guys do a great job recruiting Arizona and going out. And again, I'm just impressed with the sustained winning. It's easy to have a pop here or there, but I love the continuity you guys have with coaching staff, and I love how you guys are always in the hunt to win it all at the end of every year. That speaks to the excellence you guys bring to your program. So, Sean, thanks for spending time today. I'm sure that I will see you soon once this whole thing is lifted. We can all get back to the baseball field and stop being on videos and go out to the baseball field.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for all of your support and help with, the recruiting aspect. I always love coming down to Arizona and seeing you. So hopefully we can see each other soon.
Absolutely, Sean. Thank you.
All right. Have a great day.
Bye.